Hello, my sweet angels and naughty devils. Today's audio is going to be a little bit different because I thought it would be fun to host a little bit of a Q&A to introduce myself as well as answer some of your burning questions in honor of me reaching 50 subscribers. As you may or may not know, my name is Nikki and I am an aspiring voice actress and professional pink princess. My goal is to make your day through cozy, cutesy, and feel-good audios. I also love gaming, which if you love watching gaming, I'd love to hang out with you over on my Twitch channel. Alright, now that the professional stuff is out of the way, let's get to the fun part, shall we? The first question that I have is, what is your favorite part about voice acting? I would say my favorite part about voice acting is being able to, embrace this sort of character that you typically wouldn't be able to, outside of the constraints that being a visual creator comes with. For example, I may not be what someone pictures as a cat girl, but you would never know because you don't know what I look like. So I think that that's something that is so charming about voice acting, is being able to portray any kind of character and also have that versatility in sort of fantastical elements and being able to kind of retreat into that world building and immersing you in this kind of audio experience that you can complete with your mind. And I think that that's something that is so beautiful and just can't be replicated with other art forms. The second question that I was given was, why did you get into content creation? I think that that was something that I didn't believe would come naturally, I guess. I've always kind of wanted to be a content creator, but over time, I think was something that I felt was kind of out of reach for me, especially being a student in college and all. Something that I really appreciate, though, is the fact that the respective communities that I am currently a part of, as in the GWA Sapphic community on Reddit, as well as the little YouTube community that I've created as well, I feel like the tight-knit nature of that, being able to release my art on my own terms and still receive the same amount of support regardless, is something that is a blessing in disguise. So I think that building that connection, sharing my emotions, my experiences through my art with a small group of people is something that is just so intimate. And I think that that is something that I want to continue doing as well. Another question that I was asked was, how do you think being queer has affected your content? I think that being queer plays such a vital role in why I even make content in the first place. I think that queer love is so beautiful in the sense that it explores gender roles and relationships in such a unique way. In my experience, there is no defined set of rules needed to be followed in queer love, nor are there any expectations for what role we're expected to play, which, as a voice actress, gives me so much liberty to showcase love in all kinds of forms. Whether it's a femme listener or a masked speaker, or a femme listener and a femme speaker, whatever. The best part is that I can make content and know that there's someone that this resonates with, someone who yearns for the same kind of romantic fantasy. And I feel very honored to be able to represent and portray such a broad range of characters and share love as I and many in my community have experienced it. What is your process when it comes to selecting/writing scripts? I'm a super open-minded person, so I love anything ranging from fantastical elements like Monster Girls to regular cozy slice of life scripts. I think something that is always a must for me are scripts that I can relate to, whether it be emotions I've experienced, emotions I've had others experience in my life, or just something that I know I would really want to listen to. I love romance and fluff, don't get me wrong, but sometimes a little angst can be sprinkled in there as well. And I think that when I record things that involve a little bit more of an emotional plot or something that's a little bit more angsty, it kind of gives the listener an opportunity to be able to experience emotional, kind of high-stress situations in a safe and controlled environment. And I really appreciate being able to do that for others. And that is something that other ASM artists have done for me. So yeah, usually I do pick scripts based on things that I can personally relate to or things that I would want to listen to. What is your favorite type of audio to do? I absolutely enjoy anything that involves heavy listener praise or things that would involve, I guess, just intense emotional plots. One of my favorite tropes is friends to lovers, because I think, in my personal experience, meeting people and I guess dating, it's a lot easier to build a romantic connection with someone once you have a strong emotional connection with them. And a lot of things that I record, it's a established relationship or something where the listener and the speaker have a strong emotional bond. And that is typically on purpose, because I am the type of person that I need to have a strong emotional connection with someone to feel any sort of sexual attraction or anything like that. So I believe that my favorite type of audios to do are like established relationship, friends to lovers, that type of thing, with strong emotional plots. What is your favorite style of dress? I absolutely love this question because I am a fashion enthusiast. I would say that I am pretty hyper femme. So my favorite style of dress is like Y2K slash fairy core. I love like flowy halter tops, cutout tops, low-rise jeans, mini skirts, that type of outfit. If y'all are familiar with K-pop, I would say align most closely with like IVE and aespa. Same thing with like the K-pop inspiration and like my casual, like more casual outfits. I love wearing like the baggy sweatpants and the Gap and like the cutout tops, still like very stylish even on casual days. So that is something, like my style is something that I am so passionate about, but that is the style that I most closely align with. Are you more like Nana or Hachi? What a peak question, by the way, because I am in love with Ayazawa's works. I'm currently reading Paradise Kiss, but to answer your question, and I'm not sure if you mean this in more of like a personality or aesthetics, appearance-wise type of way, but I can answer both for you. I would say that appearance-wise, and a little bit more personality wise, I am like Hachi. I'm a little bit of an airhead. I'm a little bit more oblivious to things. I'm a little bit naive, I would say, in a lot of situations. And I tend to want to look on the positive side of things, whereas Nana is a more skeptical, guarded type of person who has been through it emotionally. I would say that I relate to the guarded part of Nana, but I relate to a lot more of Hachi's, I guess, positive outlook on things and how she wishes things were different. And I also dress very feminine, so I think that I relate a little bit more to Hachi than I do for Nana, but there are aspects in both of them that I relate to a lot. What is your favorite horror game? That is such a hard question because I adore the Resident Evil franchise. My favorite game from the franchise is Resident Evil 4. I grew up playing that. That was like peak for me. But my current favorite horror game is Silent Hill 2, the remastered version, and that is because it just explores themes of desire and the darkness that the human psyche just possesses in its nature. And I think it's so rare nowadays to find something that has such a perfect balance between grotesque visuals and the grotesque nature of the human psyche, and the way that Silent Hill explores psychological horror in that way. It's something that I think transcends the type of horror that is just like used for shock value and uses violence for shock value. And I think that that is what makes it something that is so iconic even today, and why it's such a, I guess, admired series, is because of the way that it balances those elements and portrays them in a way that it's digestible, but it's still something that makes you really think, you know? What is your favorite way to unwind after a hectic day? One of my favorite things to do, right, is to lay down in my bed, play some soft music or soft rain noises, or maybe even a YouTube video, just some kind of noise, and cuddling up with a cozy manga or a book. Another thing I like to do at the end of the day is stretch and really reflect on the day, my mentality throughout the day, and reminding myself that there is peace at the end of every single day. I think that kind of grounding technique is the best thing that you can really do for yourself right before you go to sleep. If you could visit anywhere in the world, where would it be and why? That is a great question because my mom is actually a huge traveler. And because of that, I've had the privilege of being able to explore the world. So I have been to many places in Europe. I've been to Austria. I've been to Germany. I've been to London or the UK. I've been to many places in Asia, China, Japan, the Philippines, Singapore. Singapore was one of my favorite trips ever. And I will say that the one destination that I have not been is Greece. So I would love to go to Greece one day. Do you have a personal philosophy that shapes your outlook on life? The short answer is yes. There is a quote that I like to put on my Discord bio, and it goes, "The first rule of truly living is to do the things that you're most afraid of." And I think that that is something that I truly do live by. In my life, I've noticed that the things that have made me the most happy are the things that I was initially apprehensive about, because I am someone that truly fears change sometimes. And as someone who has gone through a lot of changes in life, it's been really rough trying to kind of convince myself to take that leap. Like, what if I don't succeed in the way that I would like to? Or what if I'm not enough? And instead of asking myself that, instead of asking, will I be enough? Will I be able to do enough in the future? Will I still have the same opportunities that I do have? I want to ask myself, what opportunities lie ahead of me? What success can I see if I accept this change in my life? And I think the more that I accept those types of mentalities and try to overcome that fear of losing and loss, and understanding that things are just not permanent in life, has been something that has truly helped me be more open-minded and also a little bit less fearful for the future. Is there a particular food/scent that makes you nostalgic? For as far as food, right? I'm Filipino, and so a particular food that makes me feel really nostalgic is Jollibee. Whenever I smell it, like, I just think of like family gatherings and my family like all coming around to like get spaghetti. And this is not sponsored in any way, but I always think of my family getting chicken joy and the spaghetti, and we're like fighting over who gets the last bite of palabok, and it's my favorite part about smelling like the food. Oh my god, I love Filipino food. As far as fragrances go, I am a huge fragrance girly. I have a little bit of a collection with perfumes. My favorite perfume at the moment is Very Good Girl by Carolina Herrera. In case you've ever wondered what I smell like, the best way I could describe it is it's like a very fruity, soft, feminine scent, but it reminds me of a romantic dinner date by candlelight over a rooftop overlooking a city. And that jittery feeling you get when you're about to kiss somebody. And that is why I adore it so much. Speaking of romantic dinner dates, someone asked me, what is my ideal date? I see you want to take me on a date, huh? My ideal date would be a romantic getaway, but For me, that means something that is, I guess, a little bit different than the typical quote unquote romantic getaway. For me, it would be getting ready together and then going out, exploring the city. Maybe if there's an aquarium, we can go together. We can look at the fish, bask in the beauty of nature. And then once we've walked around and we've gained a little bit of an appetite, going on top of a rooftop restaurant, eating together, sharing memories. That to me sounds like an ideal date. And then after dinner, of course, I'd want to go home and get dessert, but I will leave that up to interpretation what you think that means. What is your love language? I feel like there are a lot of romantic questions. My primary love language, I believe from the tests that I've taken, is acts of service. I am definitely the type of girl that if you are having a long day at work, I will clean the house, or I will cook you a meal, I will massage your shoulders, I will do anything to make sure that you have a better day, and that you end the day off on a good note. That has always been my love language, is putting forth the effort to make my partner feel special in any way that I can, whether it's little things or something that kind of requires a little bit more mental energy on my part, because I think that something that gives me a lot of purpose is doing things for other people. So yeah, my love language is most definitely acts of service, but I would also say that my other love languages are physical touch and quality time. And last but not least, your voice is so beautiful. Has anyone in real life ever praised you for it? Do you eat CDs for meals? I thought this question was super cute. I do not eat CDs for meals, but thank you for asking. Actually, now that I really think about it, I don't think I have had anyone in my real life just praise me for my speaking voice. Typically, if someone does comment on my voice, it would be like one of my close friends. If I typically am having a conversation with someone in a more intimate setting, the most I'll get is your voice is just so comforting kind of compliment, and never your voice is just so amazing type of thing. I am a bit of a singer though, so whenever I do sing for my mom's family gatherings or just for fun, at karaoke or something like that, I do get a lot of praise in that way. But I always I never know how to respond when it comes to that kind of thing, so I always find it all very sweet. But thank you so much for thinking so. And with that wraps up our Q&A for today. I wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time to leave your comments and your questions. I had so much fun answering your questions and seeing what you guys were curious about. So I hope to be able to do more events like this in the future. If you would like to support my work or come hang out with me and get to know me a little bit better, all my socials are going to be linked in the description below. I wanted to say thank you so much again for 50 subscribers. It means so much to me, and it is because of you that I'm able to continue doing my work like this. So I wanted to say, Nikki loves you. Peace out. Mwah.